is activated. Where is the computer? I don't know. Speak. Properties. Xenon 2 GB of RAM. Okay, let's go. This section will show all the recently added apps programs at the top and all the installed apps programs that are configured to appear in the start menu. In this section, you will also see the apps programs will be listed in alphabetical order. Each letter will have its own section. See below. In the above image, the first box is where the recently added apps programs will appear. The second box is where all the installed apps programs will appear. Note, in your virtual machine, Google Chrome will not show up as a recently added program anymore. If you have a long list of installed apps program, you can jump to particular section in the list by clicking on the letter headings to launch an alphabet grid. See below. The white letters match the letter headings. The right side of the start menu is where you will find icons for specific apps, programs, or utilities. These icons are known as tiles. Some tiles are added to this section by default. If you right-click any of the tiles you guessed it, a menu will appear to allow you to perform more actions on the selected tile, such as resizing the tile, unpinning from start menu, view its properties, etc. The taskbar. Close the taskbar. Some of the components are enabled and visible by default. The toolbar, for example, was enabled for demonstration purposes. If you are like me and want to disable some of these components, you can right-click on taskbar to bring up a context menu that will allow you to make changes. Any apps, programs, folders, files, etc. that you open or start will appear in the taskbar. Hovering over the icon will provide a preview thumbnail along with a tooltip. This tooltip is handy if you have many apps programs open, such as Google Chrome, and you wish to find which instance of Google Chrome is the one you need to bring to focus. When you close any of these items, they will disappear from the taskbar unless you explicitly pin it to the taskbar. The notification area. The notification area, which is typically located at the bottom right of the Windows screen, is where the date and time are displayed. Other icons possibly visible in this area is the volume icon, network, wireless icon, to name a few. Icons can be either added or removed from the notification area in taskbar settings. Here are Microsoft brief documents for the start menu and notification area. Which section will hide disable the search box? To search answer. Introduction. Which selection will hide the task button? Should task button. Beside clock and later watch I call the notification area. Clock network. Action center. Okay. The file system. The file system used in modern versions of Windows is the New Technology File System, or simply NTFS. Before NTFS, there was FAT16, FAT32 file allocation level, and HPFS, High Performance File System. You still see FAT partitions in use today. For example, you can typically see FAT partitions in USB devices, micro SD cards, etc., but traditionally not on personal Windows computers or Windows servers. NTFS is known as a journaling file system. In case of a failure, the file system can automatically repair the folder's files on disk using information stored in a log file. The function is not possible with FAT. NTFS addresses many of the limitations of the previous file systems, such as supports files larger than 4 GB, set specific permissions on folders and files, folder and file compressions, encryption file system, or EFS. Okay, it is NTFS file system, New Technology File System. Okay, you can read Microsoft official documentation on FAT, HPFS, and NTFS. Let's speak briefly on some features that are specific to NTFS. On NTFS volumes, you can set permissions that grant or deny access to files and folders. The permissions are full control, modify, read and execute, list folder contents, read, write. The below image lists the meaning of each permission on how it applies to a file and a folder. How can you view the permissions for a file or folder? Right-click the file or folder you want to check for permissions. From the context menu, select Properties. Within Properties, click on the Security tab. In the group or username list, select the user, computer, or group whose permissions you want to view. In the below image, you can see the permissions for the users group for the Windows folders. Refer to the Microsoft documentation to get a better understanding of the NTFS permissions for special permissions. Another feature of NTFS is alternate data streams, ADS. Alternate data streams, ADS, is a file attribute specific to Windows NTFS, New Technology File System. Every file has at least one data system, and ADS allows files to contain more than one stream of data. Natively, Windows Explorer doesn't display ADS to the user. There are third-party executables that can be used to view this data, but PowerShell gives you the ability to view ADS for files. From a security perspective, malware writers have used ADS to hide data. Not all its uses are malicious. For example, when you download a file from the internet, there are identifiers written to ADS to identify that the file was downloaded from internet. To learn more about ADS, refer to the following link from Malwarebytes. Bonus: if you wish to interact hands-on with ADS, I suggest exploring Day 21 of Advent of Cyber 2. New Technology File System. Okay. Windows System 32 folders. Okay, the Windows folder is traditionally known as the folder which contains the Windows operating system. The folder doesn't have to reside in the C drive necessarily. It can reside in any other drive and technically can reside in a different folder. There is where environment variables, more specifically system environment variables, come into play, even though not discussed yet. The system environment variable for the Windows directory is WinDir. Microsoft environment variables store information about the operating system environment. This information includes details such as the operating system path, the number of processors used by the operating system, and the location of temporary use. There are many folders within the Windows folder. See below.